All right, here's my presentation for diverse learners, and I am Catherine Clare. So first I did my diverse definition. It's showing a great deal of variety and people who are different in culture, ethnicity, class, and learning styles. And I just wanted to add that instructional accommodations are not just for students who are struggling. When accommodations are made, all students benefit. So types of learners. There are visual learners, auditorial learners, read, write, and kinesthetic. Yep. So first, the visual. They're fast talkers. They are impatient or they might interrupt often. They use words and phrases that evoke visual images, and they learn by seeing and visualizing. Auditory are they speak slowly, they're natural listeners, they think in linear manner, they prefer to have things explained verbally instead of by writing, and they learn by listening and verbalizing. Read-write learners, they want information to be displayed in writing, they emphasize text-based input and output, and they enjoy reading and writing. So the last one is kinesthetic. They are slow talkers compared to all the other types. They are the slowest. They are slow to make decisions. They use all senses to engage in learning, and they learn by doing or solving real-life problems. They like hands-on approaches to things and learn through trial and error. So there are 4 major categories for accommodations when you're accommodating diverse learners. And I put on this little picture. This is build a classroom your students can call home, which I thought really hit home with me. So the first one is content, what the students need to learn. The next one is process, the activities the students engages in to make sense or understand the content or master the content. The third, products, and culminating projects that ask students to apply and extend what they have learned. And lastly, the learning environment, or how the classroom works and feels to the student and offers a variety of learning opportunities. This can also be spaces students can work quietly or in groups, and they have access to materials that reflect diverse cultures. Also, routines that allow students to get help when the teacher isn't available. All right, creating a lesson plan for diverse learners. So there are 9 steps total to creating a lesson plan that I found. The first one is create a plan for adapting materials. So this is effective adaptations require sustained development and support. They must be made within the framework of a larger plan that includes consideration of a basic and strategic skills instruction and the roles of people involved in the adaptation process. Step 2 is identify and evaluate the demand that students are not meeting. So this is about defining the problem to be addressed by the adaptation. Step 3, develop goals for teaching strategies and making adaptations. So often teachers that may need to provide adaptations while simultaneously teaching the student the learning strategies he or she needs in order to perform the work. Step 4, determine whether content or format adaptations are needed. Content adaptations must also meet local and state education standards. Sometimes taking assessments may be modified. And step 5, identify the features of the materials that need to be adapted. So teachers adapting materials should examine each curricular unit for features that might cause a learning problem. So continuing on here, here's step 6, which is determine the type of adaptation that will enable the student to meet the demand. So once the materials have been evaluated and possible problem areas identified, the type of format adaptation must be selected. Format adaptations can be made by altering existing materials, mediating existing materials, and selecting alternate materials. Step 7 is inform students and parents about the adaptation. Adaptations are more successful when they are offered and introduced to students at the beginning of the year, and parents should also be informed about them at the beginning of the year. Students should be taught explicit strategies to use any adaptation effectively and how to process the information received through the adaptation. Step 8, implement, evaluate, and adjust the adaptation. The teacher should evaluate the effects and adjustments, and adaptations will be made again. Step 9, fade the adaptation when possible. Adaptations usually are short-term solutions to allow classroom learning and participation until the needed skills and strategies can be taught. Next, we'll talk about incorporating technology. Technology can help you tailor instruction to meet the needs of all students by allowing changes to content, channels of input and output, cooperative learning. And then there's types of technology. The first is digital text. The next is audio or talking text, enhanced text. And if you haven't heard of enhanced text, it is like adding a timeline or photo or even questions to reflect on. And then other things like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office. Lastly, these are my resources, and thank you for listening to Diverse Learners.